Yo, welcome back to another episode of Turn the Hemmed Up. I'm your boy, LP82, along with my co-host,
Young Tech, aka Wordplay.
where we gather every podcast to talk about what's going on in the world, especially in hip-hop. Where we talk about real facts and everybody's truth.
I mean, you gotta have that confidence to where it's on you, you know, you can't lack up. I got too much passion to quit, man. I gotta keep going all
Let's
day.
lock it in. Y'all ready?
Podcast. Turn the hem up. Turn the hem up. Podcast. Turn the hem up. Turn the
I think that's the beauty part. I think that's the happiness for them. Other than that, it's whatever.
Do you think money can bring you peace, or money brings peace?
I think it could. I think it could in ways. I mean, peace ultimately comes, I think, inside, and you know, it determines peace is the people around you, the atmosphere you're around. You know, like you want to have a peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? So I think with peace comes just because you could be homeless, I think, and still have peace. You know what I'm saying? You could not have no money and still have peace.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm glad you said that because I be thinking the same way. I'm like, man, like just think of the mindset of somebody, and not to say that, you know, I'm glorifying anything like that, but the mindset of somebody that's homeless. Like, to not give a fuck. Like, not to say some out there or out there for.
They're free of bills. They're free of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things.
But you know, some of them out there on, you know, they're disillusioned. They're not fully there mentally, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's that part of it. Or, you know, some of them are on drugs. It's just so many other ways. But then there are some people that are out there because they didn't want responsibility. They're free. Like, they really don't have to worry about, well, you know, I got to go make sure I get this. And some of them are like that, and they still get money from the state.
Yeah, but not. I don't think, like when you're just say in that position and you don't want more for yourself. I think eternally is something wrong. It's something wrong with you when you don't want more for yourself out of life. I think you have some mental issues that you might have to work on. If you just don't want nothing out of life and you just want to just you live happy, just
but isn't that the whole goal, to be happy? Like somebody that's living like that may look at you like, why do you care about keeping the car? Like, why do you care?
But it's not necessarily that, but like.
But I'm just saying, it's just like the whole perspective of
like, what if you have like for instance, what if a homeless person, they may feel like that, but right. What if you got kids? You know what I'm saying? You don't want you don't want your family to be in a position that you're in. If I know, you can't take care of them.
That's case by case, though. Not everybody thinks like that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. There's some people out there, bro, that got way more kids than me and you combined, that have a good job, that live in a house, that live good, and their kids ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that really live like that. So I think that's a case by case situation. I'm talking about for the guy that probably don't have kids, or his kids are grown, or, you know, he haven't seen his whatever.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
So, like, in that perspective, the whole mindset where you have to just really look at life and say, I'm happy with this. I don't need nothing outside of that. I don't need no extra money. I don't need no. I'm just happy with this. Because, you know, the thing about, you know, life that we live, let's say the life that we live, is always that question: are you happy? Do you want to move up? Do you want to develop more? Do you want more? We have to deal with those questions on a day-to-day basis. And as our family gets bigger and older, of course, we're going to have to adjust, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're not adjusting to that, we're going to feel some kind of way. Not so much is based off of how we feel, but how we feel like it's based off how we feel, but how we feel people should see us in a certain light. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're at this age, you should have this, and that. That's what makes you happy. Then you be thinking like, damn, I don't have none of that shit. Like, or I'm not even halfway there. Now you just feel like you ain't shit. You get what I'm saying? And there's people out there that avoid that. Like, they don't care. Yeah. Like, their kids, there's some people, bro, that will shop at their store every single day. But they have money to go buy the other stuff. It's like happiness is more of what you make it. I don't think happiness is just based off of because like a lot of people try to tell you it's based off of a scale. Like you scale your happiness. Like, if I have this amount of money, I got retirement plan, this and that, okay, I'm happy. But that's what that's what, you know, the world teaches us, or our generation before us taught us. But like you said, I think it's all about carving out a place for you in this world to where you can say, okay, I'm happy with that. I don't think it's just I'm happy. No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this, because it can change and then you have to adjust again.
Yeah. To me, I don't know, I guess it's just in my bubble, but I look at life like you should always want more for yourself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to be complacent and not want nothing, and it don't seem like happiness. It seems like you're just accepting the fact that you don't want to work or accomplish, or you're maybe too lazy, or maybe don't feel like you don't want to put in all the work to get to where you need to be, so you're complacent, and by being complacent, you're going to just try to make yourself happy, like make it seem like, all right, well, I'm just happy in this position because I can't.
I got to give you pushback. What do you mean by want more? What does that mean?
Like wanting more out of life, just want something better for yourself, or better for your kids. If it's not for you, like who is it for? Like now, if you grew up and you you know what I'm saying, you ain't never had to really struggle or nothing. You know everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? You good. You know what I'm saying? But a person that's just at the bottom, just say at the bottom, and don't want nothing for themselves. They just want to they happy just being in the position that they in. I feel like there's something wrong with that.
I feel like that's just a slippery slope, because when you say more, everybody has a more. So I think you guys are doing great, but I don't think you're two of the wealthiest people I know. So if I bring the wealthiest person in the room, they'll have the same outlook that you guys have, so that's beneath you. So I just think it's a slippery slope. If they say, oh, you should want more than this, you should want bigger than this, you should and it's like, when you're more, you're comparing your more to somebody that's lower than you. But you know what I'm saying? So it's a slippery slope when you're comparing oranges and apples and bank accounts. Like, there's always gonna be somebody with more, and if they look down on y'all and say you're not striving enough, you're being lazy, you should be.
I wouldn't tell them like they or look down on them in that sense. But it's just like, why wouldn't like because I mean, it's a situation where I was doing really bad. You know what I'm saying? But like in that position, you just gonna sit there and not want nothing for yourself.
But I'm saying there's somebody else that can come that has a little bit more money that can say the same thing to someone else that might be in similar position to y'all, saying you don't want more than this, and y'all can be looking like, this is what I'm doing good. This is what I want. So it's relative. I think peace, happiness, money, and what you want. I think if you're basing whatever you want based on, it'd be foolish for me to base what I want based off y'all, what you got going on. I don't have kids, and I don't have bills like y'all. So I think you got to take people's bank accounts to see what they got, or their peace of mind, their happiness. I think you can't compare and say, oh, you should want more. You're not being like this because you're not where I'm at. You know, we're foolish to compare our destiny.
I would never say it like that. I'm just saying, like, it ain't even got to be to where I'm at. It could be past me. It could be lower than me. It don't matter. I'm just saying wanting something better. Like, I don't see a person in a position where they have nothing, and you have, just say you have, like, mainly if you have kids or you have a situation like, all right, because of me, I'm gonna be in this situation. I'm gonna have my kids in this situation because I'm thinking about myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you have kids, then you should want more for your kids. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't want to just sit there and put yourself in a position where you can't do for your kids. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, but more might be for somebody more saying, does all three of your kids have a trust fund plus college tuition paid for? And if you say no to that, then they can say to you, well, you should want more. So that's what I'm saying is when we're doing the term more, somebody, that's all I'm saying. Like, you guys can look down and say you should want more for your kids. Somebody can go on top of y'all and say you should want more for your kids. Somebody can go on top of them. You should want more. So it's like we're gonna keep playing this perpetual game of who has more. And I get what, you know what I'm saying.
But I don't think it's anything wrong with a person that says, oh, trust fund and then that's just a motivation for you to get on top of your game even more. Like for somebody not to say anything, you know what I'm saying, and the society is growing up the way they grow up. How did that look?
I think the society is too busy looking at each other.
You know what? Just to kind of touch on that, right? So I remember I was talking to this one guy, right? He's from, I think he grew up in like one of those countries, right? Well, the small countries, right? And islands, whatever. So he came in and he was like, yeah, I grew up in, I think it was Samoa. It's like, I grew up out there. Yeah, I was like, man, so, you know, I'm curious, like, how was it growing up? He was like, man, when we was kids and stuff like that, I had the time of my life. He said, I didn't know that we were living below, you know, poverty until I moved to America. So he's like, we didn't have nothing, but that was the best time of my life. He's like, when I came to America, that's when I realized shit was different. That's when I started saying, you know, I looked at my life different as a kid. You know, so sometimes I think that we have the misconception on how we think things should be sometimes. Sometimes going without, even as kids growing up, going without some things, it kind of heightened your imagination and made you be more happier about not having so much. Then when you get older, then you feel like, all right, I'm gonna get my kids everything. You get these kids everything nowadays. They act like it ain't shit.